And certainly, if you're an IU fan like myself, certainly, Ohio State is also undefeated as well. But I just sometimes when we talk about strength of schedules and we talk about other teams who have a stronger schedule because they're not Ohio State, aren't getting the look and love that Ohio State gets from the committee. But Ohio State, I mean, certainly had a lot of controversy at the beginning of their season. It seems like that they've avoided that distraction. It seems like it hasn't been a distraction at all. What are your thoughts about Ohio State this year overall, especially considering the Urban Meyer scandal or controversy that began the season that a lot of people thought would overshadow this season, but just appears to have gone away?
The fact that they blew through the first three games without Meyer and got those wins easily, I think was a sign that they're going to be a competitive factor. And then they come from behind win against Penn State, and I think that will continue this weekend. Purdue, like I said, has made some strides back forward, but I do not believe they are ready to be a number 2 team in the nation at this point. I mean, they've had some big wins at Ross State Stadium, especially when Drew Brees was there and Joe Tiller. But I just don't think Jeff Brom and company are ready to make that big of a jump and knock out a number 2 team in the nation. Even though it is at Ross State Stadium, it's going to be a raucous crowd. You have national television there with ABC. I just don't think they have what it takes to give Ohio State a run for their money. If it is a close game, I would be very surprised. And that's why I was a little bit surprised when ABC announced that this would be their game for Saturday Night Football, because I think there were some other options out there that made more sense and I thought would have been closer than, say, Ohio State versus Purdue.
Matthew-Embury, our official IndyCar contributor and also team member of Breaking Rank College Football, show that we do on Wednesday nights, 96.1 WSBT. Matt, you want to stick around and talk some NASCAR with me and Steve? You got to go, or what's up?
Got some producing to do, but like I said, follow me at Twitter, MATTEMBURY. And like I said also, I will be keeping a close eye on esports, one of their big events. The Classic Tetris World Championships gets underway in a few hours of the qualifying phase. Jonas Neubauer going for his 8th title, but there's going to be a serious challenge from Europe and a serious challenge from Japan, and also the 15-year-old Witz kid from America that could possibly shock the world. So a lot to look forward to in Portland over the next 2 days.
All right, Matt. Thank you. Have yourself a good weekend. We'll talk with you soon, sir.
Anytime, Tom.
Matthew-Embury, our official IndyCar contributor, also joins us for Breaking Rank and College Football Talk from 96.1 WSBT. My name is tom-marquis, El Presidente. Myself and Steve Wilson from Speedway Digest breaking down NASCAR. They're out in Kansas. You're not in Kansas anymore. We'll be right back right here on the Balance Radio Network.
The Air National Guard is a reserve component of the United States Air Force and serves alongside active-duty Air Force members in times of a national crisis. In addition, the Air Guard serves the state and local community in a wide range of capacities. The reason people join the Air Guard is as diverse as our members and includes such reasons as a deep desire to serve their country, money for college, travel, new job skills, and the pride that goes along with belonging to the greatest military organization in the world. I joined because I felt a calling to serve my country, but I didn't want to be far away from my family, so the Indiana Air National Guard was a perfect fit for me. With over 95 different career opportunities to choose from and 100% paid college tuition to any state-funded college, why not give us a call? Call 1-800-841-3103 or visit online at goang.com to find out more. Again, that's 1-800-841-3103. The Air National Guard, guarding America, defending freedom.
It's double trouble, double the fun at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. See the largest antelope on Earth, the giant eland, and the ugliest creature on Earth, the African warthog. There's so much to see and do, including the Midwest's only drive-through safari. Feed the animals, see live educational shows, feel the excitement. Have your picture taken with a python or cockatoo. Feel the adventure. Shop the Symbol Lodge gift shop with items available from around the globe. Visit the snack bar or picnic facilities. Enjoy a pony or camel ride. Or cheer your favorite porker on to victory in the famous Pork Chop Down. Bring your family to see the rare and exotic animals at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. Just take Route 2 to the Route 53 North exit and follow the sign. Only 17 miles west of Cedar Point via Route 6. Open every day, rain or shine.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike, you know.
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your moves.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming and I'm loud. Roar.
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything.
All right, welcome back to The Balance. My name is Tom-Marquis, Presidente, rolling along on a Saturday. I'll tell you what, talk a little bit of IndyCar, funny season with Matthew-Embury, a little bit of college football, but it's time to get into some NASCAR talk. Steve Wilson, our official NASCAR contributor and editor-in-chief of SpeedwayDigest.com. Steve, welcome to The Balance. I know you had a good time down at Talladega, good race. Talladega, as always, delivers a great experience for the fans. So we'll get into all of the NASCAR talk here in just a moment, but it seems like it's been a month of Sunday since we've had you on. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. Been busy, chasing racing, and so we only got 5 more races left in the season when we hit Kansas on Sunday.
I tell you what, and it's getting tight. It's getting good. Talk with us a little bit about Talladega, and what did you see in Talladega? And when the dust all cleared, it appears that we have. Well, we don't want to speculate, but we certainly appears that we have a very good possibility of a champion in our midst.
Well, this is the first time I had ever been to Talladega, and my first impressions of that place, I've been to Daytona multiple times, and Talladega is just a massive, massive facility. To see it on TV doesn't do it justice, to be honest with you. It's just so massive out there that you just can't see everything. You just can't do everything. But the place was just pretty much insane as far as that goes. The Fords out there, Stewart-Haas Racing, all day long, dominated the day. Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola, and Kevin Harvick, and those guys, Clint Boyer, they just figured something out, and they practiced with one another. And every single time on the restarts, they worked with one another better than we've seen other teams. We've seen Toyota work with one another at these plate-style tracks. But something with Stewart-Haas this weekend that they had figured out, that even though they were mixed up on some of these restarts, it was within a lap or two, maybe 3 or 4, that they were hooked up and back together. I mean, at one point they were running as many as 6 seconds, 7 seconds in front of the main pack, just 4 cars out there, and that's something that we've not really seen before at these plate-style tracks. Unfortunately for, Kurt Busch, Clint Boyer, those guys, Kevin Harvick, they had some issues right there at the end. They tried to stretch the field a little too far, and Eric Almirola, one of that Stewart-Haas Racing team, did go to victory lane out there for his first Monster Energy NASCAR win. He's won out there in the Xfinity Series. He's won at Daytona in the Xfinity Series, but he finally just put that cap on that his first Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series win, and I think he showed that he has a lot. He's improving it at Stewart-Haas Racing, and the unfortunate part, the other unfortunate part to Talladega is that while we did not have the big wreck, while we did not have a lot of cars tore up during the race, Kyle Larson, who did have an early incident in the car, was penalized 10 points. He was already below the cut line as it was coming out of Talladega. He'd lost 10 more points for a faster that the team used to repair the car during one of the earlier incidents. And Martin Truex Jr., the 2017 champion, is going to have to dig himself out of a hole this weekend at Kansas because he also is way down there. He's behind the cut line, not very far. He needs a few points. He's got a good starting position at Kansas this weekend. However, two drivers that, had a potential to go on are in risk this weekend of not going on to the round of 8.
Well, it is the round of 8, so let's start a little bit here with Gary, and we'll just kind of talk about the top 4, then we'll go to the other 4, if you will. Christopher Bell, Justin Allgaier, Daniel Hemrick, Cole Custer, the top 4 in your round of 8 at Kansas. Certainly Chevy's been very, very strong. And I tell you what, a silent killer, if you will, has been one Daniel Hemrick.
Yeah, so Christopher Bell, he's won at just about every stylish track that we've seen or gone to this season. He's very strong right now for Joe Gibbs Racing in that 20 car. He's got a lot of competition, however, behind him. Daniel Hemrick is that silent. You're right. He hasn't won a race, but he's finished consistently well enough and got a lot of points in the stages that he is going to be somebody that they're going to have to continue to watch out for. And we've seen this before. We've seen where Ryan Newman in the past has gone all the way to Homestead Miami Speedway with consistency and not a lot of wins. And this is the path that Daniel Hemrick is going down at this point. Cole Custer has had his up and down season. He does well at certain racetracks. He does well for a certain stretch, but then miscues either on pit road or incidents on the track. Sometimes not by his own doing. That team has to figure some of that stuff out if they want to try and get to Homestead, because they were on a similar path last year, and they missed out going to Homestead, and Cole Custer won that race. A non-playoff driver won that race last year. He could have been the 2017 champion had it not been for some of the same miscues that we're seeing in 2018.
Well, absolutely. So we'll see how that pans out. Kansas is going to be a make-or-break race on both the Xfinity side and the Monster Energy Series side. We look at the other 4, Elliott Sadler, Tyler Reddick, and Matt Cedric. Chevy very, very strong across the board here, but certainly I think a lot of eyes are on Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick does have a lot to prove. That team, they've won in Daytona, and they've just not had a lot of success. That team working together in a junior motorsports car. Typically, we see a lot of success, or we see a consistent success in cars like that. Elliott Sadler, for example, he's in his final year, but they've had a fairly decent amount of success. They haven't lit the world on fire by any means, but they're having consistent success. Where Tyler Reddick in some instances, he has his flash points. He hasn't. I don't think that he's up to par with some of his teammates at this time. I think coming next year with Noah Gragson taking over that number 1 car, 2 drivers that are fairly close in both capabilities and age, and experience could be helpful for both of them. With that veteran Elliott Sapp